Welcome everyone to the Scorpio full moon celebration. Everybody's like, it's not till Friday. Well, yes, but quite frankly, ceremony starts today, and I'll share why in just a little bit. Let's call in sacred space. And this is big, probably the biggest ceremony you will ever participate in your lifetime. And most people don't know. So I'll take a big deep breath in. And as we exhale, drop your grounding cords, send your roots down, 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 down into the earth. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up, up, up through your body. Send it up and out through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the divine above us. Inhaling, drawing that cosmic energy back down through your body, sending it all the way back down into the earth, activating the as above, so below flow. Then connecting with that flow, breathing in, breathing out. Activate the as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give such great thanks to be here in physical bodies doing this sacred work right now. Moving to the south, we welcome water. We welcome clear, clean, current emotions. We welcome love, joy, flow, abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air and mind, focus and clarity. All of our guides, angels, allies, and helpers in the invisible realm. And moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement and passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we welcome our divine feminine and our divine masculine in sacred right relationship. We call that beautiful energy down through our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. And we welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, dance with us for our mutual benefit. Here we go. Oh, that was fun. Okay. I'm not going to be monitoring the chat today because there's so much that we need to talk about. And I want you to still have time to journal with the elements and all of that. So take a moment. Everybody, close your eyes, take a breath. Just drop your grounding cords down again and get in your body. And when you get in your body, stay in your body and let your body ground, then the noise calms down. So let that happen. And let yourself do a little review of the past 24 hours and how's your body feeling? Because the full moon, she's here. And this one is huge. Not in a scary way, in a good way. All right. So I'm going to catch us up really quickly. This is probably what you've been feeling since the 25th. And you may have noticed big shifts, especially if you have an air sign in your, well, all of us have air signs in our chart, but if they're main players like your sun sign or your masculine, masculine, your feminine, or your Mercury, which is the lens you look through, you might have felt this already. I know I did. So this is the shift leading up to, this is the last one. I mean, not the last shift, but the last of the big planets. All four of those outer planets have finally, we've been talking about this for months, have finally changed signs within months of each other. Saturn and Neptune both went into Aries. Pluto was the first to anchor, went into Aquarius, and then Uranus just moved into Gemini on April 25th. Now, why this matters, these are the slow planets that shape entire decades. And, you know, you can look at any scary astrology that you want to that will talk about certain things that have happened when these planets were in these signs. But just so you can feel how it's, excuse me, personal for you, I want you to think about where you were in 2018. Because in 2018, Uranus moved into Taurus. And so Uranus is the planet of shakeups. It's like, hey, look, I'm going to poke you there. And surprises, sometimes really good surprises, sometimes like, whoa. So look back at 2018. And that was, you know, planetarily, that was before 2020. 2020, we all got shook up a little bit with COVID. So if you look at it from that perspective, you can begin to see big shifts happened for me personally back then, and changed. It's like my entire reality literally collapsed and rebuilt itself in that time. So this is something that has not happened simultaneously in living memory. Okay, all of those planets moving together. So the next 7, the last 7 rewrote the way we are in the physical realm. So you probably had physical moves. You probably had physical changes in your physical world. And we've seen physical changes on the global scene hugely. The next 7 is going to rewrite the way we think. And sometimes that can be very dramatic. And, you know, the way you think influences the way you feel, the way you behave, influences your choices. And I got to watch that. I'm not going to share. It was way too personal to share, but I got to see it happen the day Uranus went into Gemini. So it's not a surface level transit. It's structural, neurological, and energetic. Uranus is the great awakener. And so sudden change, disruption, breakthroughs, and moments that alter the course of our lives in ways we could not have predicted. If you all do templates, now would be your moment. You need to be doing them now. And not just because of this, for some other reasons. But what I always do is tell Uranus that I want happy surprises. I mean, that's a good way to cover yourself. And, you know, if I have to, it's like, if there's going to be a big shift, let me see it coming. It's like this is what most humans, especially light worker humans that are really kind and nice, don't know. You need to command authority over your energy field and over what is happening, and you can. And all you have to do is say it. That's why we have these little ceremonies. So tell the universe what you want. Tell the angels to help the universe deliver, and give specific instructions. Okay. Because Uranus shakes up what's stable, it breaks what's stagnant, and liberates what has been suppressed. So anything that's happening is happening for us, not to us. And in Gemini, it does this through the mind. At its core, Uranus is here to awaken you to your inner truth, not comfortable truth, not familiar truth, your big truth. It breaks habits, patterns, conditioning, inherited belief systems that kept you small, quiet, or contained. And that's what, you know, nefarious forces have been trying to do to us for centuries. Keep us small, quiet, and contained. That is ending. It pushes you out of the expected and into the authentic. Uranus does not want you fitting in. It wants you free. 2025 was a glimpse. It slipped in there for a minute. Full activation begins now. And on that note, we have a pink full moon at 12:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or daylight time. So that's 1:23 Eastern, and then all the way around. And that is on Friday, May 1st. So this is just full moon information. This is just if we just had a regular Scorpio full moon, here's what it would be. Releasing things. And remember, those of you that are priestesses, when we set an intention and do a ceremony, everything that is not like that intention comes up to be released. So we had the big Aries new moon 2 weeks ago. I'm sure all of you set some powerful intentions. Now, in this Scorpio's here to wash it out. Personal transformation, death and rebirth, shadow work, intimate energetic connections, insurance, taxes, inheritance, shared resources of all kinds. That's what Scorpio governs. And so you may see the need for clearing in those places. And, you know, this is happening Friday, so you have some time. And chances are you all are still in recovery from that new moon, because there's still planets and heavenly bodies moving into Aries. Some have moved out. But at any moment in time, 2 weeks ago, there were 9 to 10 planets or heavenly bodies in Aries. So it was the gunshot, initiation. um, so past 2 weeks may have been a ride. I started watching my new granddaughter 2 days a week. There's a reason you have them when you're young. And I thought, a baby, an infant, and she's beautiful and she's exquisite and I love it and I'm exhausted. Just saying. So notice what you changed, what shifted, and what you're feeling right now. Now, this is just if we were having a regular, everyday, well, there is something that happens on every Taurus new moon that we're going to talk about next. Wesak. For those of you that don't know what Wesak is, originally, well, always, it is the celebration of the birth, the life, and the death of the Buddha. And it has always been considered one of the most sacred full moons of the year because it's believed to be a time when great blessings, light, love, and divine energy are poured on the earth. I tell the story of, what is said is that the Christ consciousness energy and the Buddha energy tip a golden bowl and pour out blessings for all of the light workers that are there and open to receive it. And that's who it's for. It's for people that are actively engaged, which I'm sure if you're here, you are, in shifting, up-leveling, supporting the planet and the humans that live upon the planet. So that always happens on the full moon of Taurus. I remember one time we were doing a sweat lodge and someone got out of this, and it was specifically, we designed it, you're supposed to, and we'll talk about things you can do. You're supposed to play the Omani, all that day. But at any rate, when we were in the lodge, a lady got out because it was so hot. And the sky was beautiful, totally clear. And so we were chanting the Omani in the sweat lodge. And about the moment of the full moon, a little cloud tiptoed across the sky and sprinkled on us, just kind of like that little blessing, that little pouring. And that's when we knew we were onto something. So for the most part, I've tried to do that for the past 20 years, to do something on that day. But here you go. This one, think about the threshold we're crossing right now. It's like all the planets are moved. This is the moment we step across the threshold, and we need as much support as we can tell by looking around us from the divine as we can get. And this one is supposed to be the most potent since Atlantis fell, because the biosphere is 5D dominant. And that's, for those of you in Source Light School, that's not our personal 5D, that's Earth 5D. That's where we're all going. The channel between what they call the great lives, so all of the big divine energies that are supporting Earth's transformation, and the Earth is open to a biosphere that is energetically prepared to receive and hold what comes through. So we've never been in this spot before. It's always been 3D dominated. So the stuff would come in, but maybe we weren't prepared to hold it. Maybe we couldn't hold it. There would always be interference. Not now. Now it is shifted. Now we best be out there opening to receive. For those, so ceremony really starts today, in that, If nothing else, just play the Om Mani Padme Hum in the background throughout your day. Clear your house, clear your physical body, purify your thoughts, calm your emotions, open your heart, meditate, pray, forgive, serve. We'll get to that in a minute. But for the next 2 days, you just want to be internally focused, thinking about what you want to release, clearing space, just preparing yourself for ceremony, which this one is real easy. You just sit in meditation. For those that show up consciously Friday, it's a creative force available to those serving humanity, and it is exponentially greater than it's been for 14,000 years. So all you have to do, 12:23 p.m. Central Time, be there. Just sit in quiet meditation. Don't try to influence it in any way. And you know what I'm going to do for myself, and what I encourage you to do, is go back to your soul. Go back to the you that remembers why you came, what you were bringing, what you're here to do, and be open to receive the support that you need to do it, because it's going to be available. So you don't have to dictate this, and you probably shouldn't. You just have to be open and be in meditation for 15, 20 minutes, just open to receive. You can make the whole day, as I plan to. I have some work I have to do, but then I'm doing a fire. But the fire won't be till later. But you can light a candle. They tell you to get a bowl and fill it with water and put it outside so that it receives the energetic blessing, and then use it, drink it, water plants with it, put it around your property. Water holds the frequency of anything that it touches it. So you can spread this. So as light workers, it is kind of our job to go out and harvest, catch the frequency that's coming, and share it with the world. And that's what it means: meditate, pray, forgive, serve. The next 2 days, so we have 2 days building up, then we have Friday, then 2 days after, Saturday and Sunday, give away what you've received. Create the channel, send it out. If it was a download, do whatever the guidance is. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't put it off and go, oh yeah, I'll get to that. No, now. Now is our moment. Now is when the whole earth is poised to make stupid mistakes. And we don't have to. We can bring the light of wisdom in and let wisdom do her job. But she needs boots on the ground. That's us. Okay. That's Wesak. There's more. That is just this 5-day window. Now, the moon is also traditional Beltane celebration. Now, true Beltane, astrologically speaking, and I don't know what the degrees are, but it's May 5th at 7:48 a.m. So we have a window. So you could focus your energy on the moon and then just extend that ceremony energy 5 days out. Because Beltane then is about implementing. So even though it's traditionally celebrated, Beltane is not something to mess with. It's celebrating with ribbons and flowers and the first day of summer, and it wasn't a gentle garden party, not traditionally. It was the moment when the earth, and you'll notice this if you pay attention outdoors, it's the moment when the earth woke up, usually violently. Now, we're already seeing this in the Midwest. I flew from my office to my granddaughter's home with tornado sirens blaring. And my client at the time, she goes, Kath, do you want to come to my house? I said, the tornado can only be in one place at a time. I'm heading to Olathe. I'm hoping it's not between me and there. It wasn't. Anyway, um, that's what it means by the earth waking up violently. So this ceremony was preventive magic to make sure that the people survived the earth's waking up. Now, this is what traditional earth peoples did. And we're going to go into that a little bit deeper here in just a sec. But this was loud, smoky, raw, unpolished, deeply rooted in the dirt. This is the moment to stand at the threshold of the wild, claiming fire to clear your path. So we get the download of Wesak, divine source energy, on Friday. 5 days later, we initiate whatever needs to be initiated. So here's what happens. The veil thins at Beltane just like it does in October. And instead of the quiet, resting dead, we're dealing with waking feral spirits of the land. I would say the feral spirits of the land are pretty pissed right now. And it says it might be a little peeved at us with us right now. So the chaotic energy on the earth is demanding us to grow, and humans may have caused a lot of damage that is making it more difficult. So historically, you didn't light a Beltane fire just to look at it. You lit massive roaring bonfires and physically drove your cattle through the smoke to purify them and protect your livelihood from disease and mischievous spirits. You burned the old brush, you sweat, you made noise to claim your space, because nature isn't just delicately blooming flowers, although they're very pretty right now. Nature is also the weed that aggressively shatters the concrete to get to the sun. So you have the dichotomy now of here's all the source you need, but y'all got a mess to clean up. So Beltane doesn't carry, and this is important, I want you to feel this, it doesn't carry potential. This isn't about setting an intention. It carries what you've already chosen, what has been tended and what has been proven to hold. So many of you set new intentions, but you have been knowing about this time for a while. Look at the things that really got initiated. That is what Beltane is going to support. What you are aware of is going to be direct. And what repeats, what you keep doing over and over again, is going to hold weight. So you want to look at that, make sure that the choices you're making are sending you where you want to go. What settles without force on your part, so what you don't have to force, is what is real enough to build upon. So as you move through this growing season, trust what stays and stands on its own, not what is wonky. And there's a lot of wonky out there. So see what you stay dirt bound, get on the ground and stay there. That will help you a lot right now. So this one is pretty jam-packed. I'm just going to give you the main things that are happening. So you want to remember, Scorpio moons always expose what's hidden, suppressed, or energetically entangled. And Taurus wants to hold on to stability, comfort, and material security. This is why we get big help. Scorpio, though, demands release, transformation, and emotional honesty. So this is a purge point. This is what have you been maintaining for stability in Taurus that is now in direct confrontation with what is no longer energetically true. Yeah, that I'm not 20 anymore. Um, so that's the first piece, just Scorpio and Taurus. But there's others. Mercury is right on top of Chiron in Aries. And so the initiation wound becomes a voice. So any place, and you've probably, if you think about it, have already been noticing this. Where is the trauma still stuck? And this is the deep stuff that has been with you so long you think it's normal. And what is it causing you to do that is keeping you stuck? So all you have to do is ask, and you want to be ready for the answer, because it will be like, really? Mercury is voice, truth, messaging. Chiron is your core wound and healing initiation. And Aries is having the courage to look, to say, oh gosh, that's who I've been. And being responsible enough to have the hard conversation with yourself, because that's what this is about. It's not about out there. It's about going deep inside and going, oh my gosh, 7 years ago, you really were angry. And you got I'm speaking of myself, you got this 7 years of reprieve, and you got to be the kind, gentle person. And then I got to revisit who I was angry with and why. So look at those things. They're rooted early on. And you have to be careful, especially if you're a Gemini, because this is the energy of speak the thing you've been avoiding. But you need to be kind. You don't need to be hateful. But you will need to be direct, raw, potentially activating. That's why I say be kind, be gentle if you can. Unless they won't hear you, then you might need to be a little bit more pushy. Okay. Mars and Aries. So Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, fueling the moon with fire. Mars is going to set this is also what happened. Mars is going to set the emotional tone, and it's unfiltered, it's fast, it's confrontational, it's more impulsive, less tolerant of stagnation. It wants to go do something. You don't just have a realization. I have been chanting the Ho'oponopono prayer like mad woman. That's all I know to do in some of these moments. When I get the realization, it's like, I can't fix anything. It's too ugly. I've just got to chant. So Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. So reality versus illusion dissolving. This is going to soften, if you let it take root, it's going to soften what this does, what the Mars thing does. And this is the defining background of the transits era. So Neptune is all about dreams, illusions, spirituality. Saturn is all about structure, reality, and boundaries. And this is about make the dream real or let it dissolve. Some of us have been carrying around dreams that we don't have time to fool with anymore. If it's not going to grow corn right now, let it dissolve. In Pisces, it's spiritual identity, healing work, energetic boundaries. So all of you light workers out there, You're opening to receive all of this good juju. You've got to let yourself take it in. You also have to set good boundaries so that you can hold it, so that you can contain it. Where have you been spiritually idealistic, but materially ungrounded? Because this demands both. Whereas healing work lacked structure, sustainability, and can your spiritual work hold weight in the real world? Making things practical. So this moon isn't messing around. And then good old Jupiter in Cancer, trine with Scorpio moon. So emotional expansion and support, it's going to help us. This is a major stabilizer in an otherwise intense chart. It's water, emotional intelligence, intuition, healing flow, and Jupiter expands what it touches. So it softens the purge and makes it productive, not destructive. So you don't have to throw the baby out with bathwater. And please, please, please don't beat yourself up. It's like, just go, ah, you were just a kid. You had no idea what you were enacting. Love that little kid and let the old behavior go, whatever it is. Deep emotional healing is available. And this is what we can receive from this big download on Wesak. Support comes through vulnerability. Growth happens when you feel fully instead of trying to control the outcome. So, yeah. So that's where we are, folks. And, just my little reminder, we have all chosen to incarnate right now. We chose to be here, boots on the ground, to create that new earth paradise. What we've been seeding is beginning to grow. Uranus during this Beltane time is going to support what we've been seeding over the past however many years you've been doing this. So this isn't happening to beat us up. It's really the culmination. And I tell people, I have not been praying for gentle, easy change and transition in vain. I've been doing that for 30 years. I think we can all hold that. It doesn't have to be the grand explosion that everyone wants to scare you into. It can be a gentle, easy shift from 3D to 5D, where we all just begin to behave, where we wake up one day singing, holding hands and singing Kumbaya. Everybody, all the way from one level to the next. So that's what we want to hold. Yeah, there's going to be fallout, but it doesn't have to be catastrophic. I mean, we have the archangels in our hip pocket. Use them. Okay, here's questions. I'm going to encourage you to write them down. You won't have a whole lot of time to journal with them, as I want to cover the cards I pulled for you. But what is left for you to release on all levels? And what changes would improve your relationships, creative expression, or finances? What do you need to release to make room for new growth? And what new seeds do you want to plant? Now you can journal with those questions if you want to for a minute, and then I'll jump into the cards. You're right, Betsy. Betsy says this is wild. Yeah. Um, I was flying down the highway Sunday night with the sirens blaring. At 6 a.m. the next morning, we were in the basement because there was another tornado warning. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near close, but Kim freaks out. So we did. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go through the cards with you. So I was not really surprised at these. I pulled Taurus. Um, that card in the Earth deck is the enjoyer. It speaks to our ability to enjoy being in a physical body. Folks with this energy love this planet and all the experiences she provides. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be loving this and loving our experience, not freaking out. This is a very personal level Earth archetype, and it can teach us the value of enjoying the earthly realm, how to love all that looks beautiful, taste everything delicious, and feels pleasurable. She can also teach us how to acquire the means to receive all the exquisite things and gratifications the physical realm has to offer. And as you sit and receive on Wesak, notice how I'm just saying that you're going to. You allow yourself to receive what you need to do your job here. It's like we weren't meant to be broke. We weren't meant to not be provided for. And we are being provided for in this Taurus full moon. From Taurus, we can learn how to take solid steps to fulfill our desires for possessions, wealth, and security. Taurus helps us connect to the divine through savoring and enjoying intimacy through the body senses. The sun is in Taurus generally from April 20th to May 20th. So we have some time in Taurus after this. What do you need to ask Taurus to help you with? And then in the water door, I pulled birthing. Birthing speaks to giving life to something new, as in bringing forth something from within yourself. It's not just creating outside yourself, but literally drawing forth that form from within yourself. All of us have things inside of us that need to be birthed. There are certain parts of ourselves that need to be brought forth into the physical world of form. Water provides the flow that supports birthing. This is why we came to a physical planet. Allow water to show you what is wanting to be birthed through you from within right now. And then air, far sight. Imagine an eagle soaring high above the earth. Eagles are said to have the best sight of any bird and have often been associated with the air realm. This is because they have the ability to look ahead to see what's coming. They also fly high so that they can get a big picture vision of the landscape below. As we create our lives, we too need to develop the ability to rise high so we can see far into the future. What effects are our actions now having on generations to come? One of the hits I got this morning was that when Yeshua and Mary Magdalene were on the planet, they weren't planning for their immediate future. This kind of chaos was happening to them back then. And what they were laying down was for us right now, 2,000 years in the future. That was the plan. They could see this coming, and what they gave us was a map. Now, what does that say to us about far sight? We have to be planning our footsteps for, because air controls everything. We're in the biggest air sign, the age of Aquarius. It is going to change the way everything looks. It controls earth, water, and fire. Air is the one in charge because it's thought. So, what are we thinking? How are our actions going to affect generations 2,000 years in the future? Where do we need to be mindful of those coming after us? In our own creations, what do we need to know about the future so we can create in a good way? And then fire. Well, there's no doubt about this one. It's all going to take courage. Any creative endeavor takes courage to initiate and complete. It takes courage to look clearly at ourselves and see all the places we need to make adjustments without judgment. It takes courage to continue to follow through on tasks and complete them to bring the creation to completion. It takes courage to face setback with the confidence that this is just another opportunity for growth. Where do you need courage to move forward? And then spirit. The mastermind of all of this herself, divine feminine. The archetypal energy of the divine feminine shows herself in a myriad of ways. She has many names and many aspects, known all over the planet as Isis, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Diana, the sacred she, and simply the goddess. She brings divine guidance, holy wisdom, and assistance whenever you need it most. She can be kind, gentle, and loving, or fierce and passionate. Her energy speaks to a state of beingness and magnetism. She's the perfect complement for the divine masculine energy. So she is the rock you stand on right now. Connect with the aspect of her that calls you. My personal favorite is Sophia, Holy Wisdom, the creator of all of it. Where do you need assistance? As Divine Mother, she's always available and she always provides. So that's a lot of information. You have 2 days to get your ducks in a row. Take some time right now and just begin. Begin. If you already know there's some things you want to release, begin by jotting them down. If not, take a moment right now to open to receive what's next for you. Okay. We are going to take a moment and activate what you intend as we dance to activate what you've got on your paper and activate what you're going to have. We can begin this ceremony now. And this is the beginning. And complete it on Sunday. Close it out for yourself then. Let's get up and move. Once again, I'm going to remind you all, dance ceremony's not over till we dance. I see y'all leaving. I gave us plenty of time today. Here we go. All right. I am going to stop the share so y'all can see each other. I give thanks to the elemental forces for holding space for us today. I give thanks for these beautiful souls that are committed to stepping up and doing their sacred work on the planet. And I close this circle in the light. All right, lovelies. I will see you all very, very soon. Many of you even very soon. Bye.